Good morning, you guys. This week's message is not the typical message. It's something different this week because I just got back from a trip from Japan. I'm jet lagged and I've got a cold, so I didn't feel up for channeling this week. But I did have two really, like some of the best dreams of my life, two really spectacular dreams. So I wanted to share those with you instead. So, what I decided to do this week is I actually shared the dreams this morning. I usually pre record my Friday Live into my Soul Society community on Friday mornings at 10 a.m., which you are absolutely welcome to be a part of. The part where I share the Friday Live is free, so you're always welcome to join that if you'd like to. But I decided this week to just go ahead and share the whole conversation. Normally, I will edit out all of the conversation and just stick to the message for you guys to make it sort of a faster listen for you. But this week I'm just going to post the whole thing in. So just fair warning, I'm talking about my trip, about Tokyo and Japan, and so it's much more conversational. So, but we do get into the meat of my dreams and what those meant, so it's I think a hopefully a very valuable conversation, but also just a lot of talking as well. So I thought you might enjoy this more sort of behind the scenes view this week. And then if you'd like to be part of it regularly, you are always invited to come join me. I'll put a link in the description box where you can sign up to be part of those Friday Live conversations. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoy the message. Good morning. Hello. Oh, it's so good to see everybody. All right, we're starting. Let me open up my chat so I can see you guys. So, you guys, I got to tell you, happy Friday Live. It is amazing to be home again in my happy spot right here. Yes, and I am like down for the count, you guys. This cold has got me. I'm like, whoa. I think I'm sleeping pretty good with the jet lag. Like I slept really well, and I had dreams about having a cold. So like, but the good news is my dream showed my immune system like going for it. You know, they were like on it, so that's good news. But I am down for the count. So I was not able to channel a message for you guys today. So I'm sorry. I just, I need to be feeling good when I channel, and I feel happy, but I'm not healthy. But I thought instead that I would actually like to talk with you guys about some other stuff that I thought was it's on my mind, and I thought it could generate some cool conversation. So if you guys are up for it, then we could just do that today. Japan was super fun. Like it was a great experience. And not so easy for a vegetarian, I got to tell you. Like it is a meat eating culture. So I have to show you something so insanely hilarious. Like just to show you how much of a meat eating culture this place is excuse me. They have all these cute little shops called kombinis that everybody goes to. It's like 7-Eleven but on steroids, and there's a bunch of different ones, and they're on every corner. And my kids they wanted to go to kombinis all the time, particularly my daughter, but they both loved them. And in one of these kombinis, they had puzzles for children, and it looked like cute little puzzles. It was like a puzzle of a cow and a puzzle of a fish and a chicken. I'm like, oh, isn't that sweet? And you figure it's going to come apart. It's going to be like the organs of the animal or whatever. And I look at it, and it's not. It is not that at all. Hold on, I got to show you this because it's so darn funny. If I have it, here it is. So what this is, I took a video. I wish I'd just still it so I could show you guys. Hold on. So what this is it is a puzzle of how to butcher the animal. I'm not even kidding. There's one for cute Mr. Little Pig, and then there's one for cute little Mr. Cow, and there's one for cute Mr. Little Chicken. Is how to turn him into food. I'm like, oh my God. They get him early. They get him really early. So I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, it was really fun. I did not buy one. I didn't. I mean, it was so funny, but then I was like, no, it's so gross. I just couldn't do it. Dasha says, I've heard that convenience stores have really good egg salad sandwiches over there. Yeah, you can do well just eating at the kombinis. But and being vegetarian, is not easy because there just isn't like if you eat meat, you can do great there, and there's loads of good stuff. Both my kids can't eat dairy, and they both did, like, because like sushi and all this, they did great. But the challenge I had, and the, some of the stuff I had was amazing. It would be like they would, and they bring you tiny little dishes. Like there's like a little tiny bit of this and a little tiny bit of this. They bring you like all these little dishes. So there'd be like 10 dishes, and like 4 of them you'd be like, ooh, this is amazing, and it would be something, I don't know what, because it was just like mystery in a bowl. But 10 of them, or like 4 would be great. 2 or 3 you'd be like, okay, I can eat this. And then like the last 3 would be some variation that looked a lot like snot. Like it was vegetables in slime. And so slime is like I think it's like their version, since they don't do a lot of cheese. I think they do slime. And so like the slime texture is like, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do the slime. So it was navigating a minefield for me. It was, but you just gotta, like, my thought is like eat it once. You gotta try everything once, even the slimy ones, like a little tiny bit. Try everything, because you never know. It might be something amazing. But all in all, I have a hard time pronouncing it. I did really great with the you're saying natto. Oh my god, I tried natto. It is so gross. But my kids loved it. Oh, I tried that stuff. That was in the slime category. Oh, it's so yucky. You can't stand the slime stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So gross, you guys. Pass on the slime. There was so much slime, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't have no idea. And I knew the only thing that saved me from being really grossed out is that I knew it was all vegetables. There'd be like a little tiny bowl of something that looked a lot like a little pile of snails. But I knew it wasn't snails because it was all vegetarian. But it had all the slime. It had all the. I've no, like, what? How did they do that to a vegetable? I have no idea. But and then I did a little bit of hiding food under my rice. So they wouldn't know I didn't eat it, because I felt bad, because they go through all this effort to make me something vegetarian, and then I'm like, I just cannot stomach it. Oh, yeah. You had a hard time in China too, I bet. Oh my gosh. So the is what is natto? Is the with the N? Yeah, the natto. Yeah, I did. I took like one bite. I took one bite, and we had it out for breakfast, and I was definitely grossed out. Yeah. I had some. Yeah, I did have some really great desserts. And then I think it's called I can't say it. I'm so sorry. Opanaki something or other. Opanaki. It is like you go to this really, it's really fun. You go to a restaurant with a great big like a cooking surface, and there's and you're in a tiny little restaurant, and there's like some guy back there who looks like a character actor out of Hollywood. He's like so perfect for his position. And he's back there, and he's got all those different like Benihana spatulas, and they cook like a bunch of stuff on this. They layer it, and it's basically, depending on where you have it, it's different. But they put layers, and it's mostly cabbage mixed in with sauce and some batter. It's like a cabbage pancake. But then they add stuff to it, but you can easily get it. It's a teppanyaki. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Maureen. Yeah, that's it, Kelsey. Okonomiyaki. That's the one. That's exactly it. My cold is not helping my language barrier. But yeah. And it was and those were really, really good. So we had them in 2 different locations, and that was great because you can specify, like, leave the pork out or whatever. So if you okonomi, that's it exactly, Matthew. Yeah, it was really good, and no slime. But it was, they were so beautiful there. You're right, Erin. The palace gardens. Oh my gosh, you guys! Like So we went to in Tokyo, we went to the gardens at the Emperor's Palace or whatever, and the gardens were just like, so you hear about, like, I'm trying to find a photo for you, that you hear about like Japanese gardens and stuff like that, but they just have like a certain fairy tale quality. Let's see if I can show you guys. how it's just like it's so layered and beautiful. It's like they literally make it look like, even though it's a regular size landscape, it looks miniaturized because it's like every little layer builds upon the next layer. I had to take video because I knew I wasn't going to be able to capture it all, but it's just so stunning. And crazy that it's like it's all green. Like there's not a, it's like here we're like flowers, and they're like, it's just like layers of green and subtle textures and shapes, and but so stunning. And I, as you guys know, am a big garden person, so super inspiring. Yeah, super inspiring. So I loved that. Absolutely love that. And then I loved the people were so nice. Oh my gosh. And I saw this one bulletin board that was like, for me it was the like the perfect thing, and luckily it was translated into English or I would have missed it. And it said never hurry, never rest. And I thought that was like the perfect slogan for Japan. Is that everything there moves like it's super not hurried. Like even on the freeways they drive super slow, like super slow, like you're on a freeway and it's 35 miles per hour, not even joking. And so everybody's driving like super slow everywhere. And then everywhere you're going, it's like the idea that you're not ever supposed to hurry. But there's this expectation that you will be super, super diligent. And like if like in all, like if, for example, any kind of customer service stuff, they'll go the extra mile. Like it's this concept of, yeah, never hurry, never rest. And like, so, and it was really beautiful. Like when people would be explaining things to you, like the women were so graceful. They would come over, they'd be pointing to the menu, and they'd be like the ultimate Vanna White. They'd be like, and then showing you with this lovely little flourish. It was like everything was so graceful. I was like, I'm the clunky American. Like it was just so funny. But yeah, but they're just, it's like they're enculturated. Like we are so much about individuality and how it is to be yourself, is like the big thing. And I think there it is to be a good citizen, to be part of the whole, to be part of the collective is such a different set of values than we experience. Josh just says, I need a trunk full of patience for 35 on the highway. I know. I mean, the highways were stunning. They were beautiful, right? They had more signs and lines and painting and bollards, and like they want to make sure you're super safe on every highway. And they've got signs for everything. When you go into the restroom, there are signs for, this is how you use this toilet, with a QR code, so you can like get the QR code if you want like a video to watch on how to use the toilet. There's like 50 signs in the bathroom in case and so the feeling you have is they have anytime they do anything, you get they're so like it's like we would call it overemployed, but they have so many people there working on every job that they would like come up with an idea, and then they would have a person test it and test it and test it. You get that sense that somebody went in there and they tried to come up with every question you ever could possibly have, and then they made signs for it, and they put the signs everywhere, and it's just like a million signs. So, and the freeways are like that. Everything is like that. Yeah, it is really crazy. It said, there it is. You say, I feel that you helped anchor the light to Japan. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, it is. I did have a dream there that I didn't like about a possible, and I don't know if it was just a blip, you guys, but I did see a little something when I was there that I thought, oh my. So yeah, I did think about that, but I'm just going to take that thought. I'm just going to put it right out of my head because there's no need to worry about that. But I did think about that while I was there. I was grateful and glad to be there while I was, and I definitely sent my prayers and said prayers over the country for sure while I was there, and thought about that. Yeah. I've been told I talk too loud on the street in Japan. Yeah, we had to whisper everywhere. Me and my two, all three Americans, exactly. Renee dated a man from Japan for about a year, and it's interesting learning what goes on inside of that culture. A lot of pressure for young people there. Yes, so true, right, Renee? I bet you had a very inside view of that. Yeah, for sure. For 2 years, planned a 12-day cruise to Japan. Looking for it. Oh, that's going to be super fun. Oh my gosh, I'm happy for you. Yeah, it is. It is a beautiful country, and there's so much to explore there. The onsen. So we went to this Japanese beautiful town in the country. up in the mountains where you do all, like you go bathing from like there's hot springs, and they're indoors and outdoors and stuff like that. And it's just, and we got to stay in a tatami mat type hotel. And so that was super, super fun. And just the whole, like, being really immersed in sort of more traditional Japan, that was awesome. And then driving through the country and really starting to see like the abandoned villages and sort of the impact on the current shift in the culture, or shift in the demographics. That was interesting too. My kids were really like mesmerized by that. Yeah. And then you wonder how they're integrating AI. Good question. I mean, they are really innovative. One of the things that I watched one night when when I first got my cold, I stayed in one night and my kids went out that night. And so I was home in the hotel by myself, and I watched a local Japanese channel. I don't know what channel it was, but they had this show on, and it was a great, like, absolute, it's like, as news goes, this is like the way to do it. I was like, wow, I wish we had news like this in the US. They had, and it was in English. They had like it was like auto dubbed, so I could follow it. And they had the reporter, and then they had a commenter, and then the reporter would tell the story, and then the commenter would, and then she turned to the commenter, and the comment, like, what do you think about that? And the commenter would be like, well, I think that's very nice. And one of the stories they did was on this man who owned a power company, utility company. And the utility company he was having a heck of a time because in order to get people to work on the power lines, like, it's a really dangerous job to work on the power lines, and he just couldn't get anybody up there. So he'd had a job posted for over 2 years and had gotten 0 applicants because nobody wanted to go up, however many hundreds of feet in the air and hang from cables and work on power lines, not shockingly. So the man was super creative, and he built a climbing gym, like a really super top-notch climbing gym, which attracted all of these climbing hobbyists. So, and then he said, okay, anybody who works for my company can go to the climbing gym for free. And if you would like to explore climbing competitions, like if you would like to be a professional climber and go to competitions and stuff like that, the company will pay your entrance fee. So he ended up getting all of these like top climbers to come and work for him now. And so now he's filled all his positions. And so such an incredibly creative solution, is that he sort of built what they wanted, figured out who his demographic was, built what they wanted, and then they all came. So that was amazing. And then he had a second challenge, which was that he didn't have enough people to be able to inspect all of the poles. He had all these telephone poles everywhere, and they all had to be visually inspected. So, but he didn't have enough just like lay people to run around and check them all the time, because there's gazillions of them. So he gamified it. He developed an app, and he put it out for just the general average public, and said, okay, the goal of the game is to claim telephone poles, and you're meant to go out and find a pole. And to claim it, you have to take very specific photos of the pole. You have to do it in this very specific way so that they can actually be useful to the company. And then once you do, you officially claim that pole. And if you claim a pole, you actually get, like, you earn money from doing it. So there's this one woman who was like, yeah, I've made like $600 doing this. And she's all addicted to it. And they showed on the screen, like, it's become like a thing, like trying to find the poles that haven't been claimed. So this guy has solved his problem for probably way, way less than what it cost him to hire somebody to go around and check all these things, because he turned it into this game that people are playing. So isn't that cool? I was like, okay. I didn't think of the Japanese culture as being particularly innovative, because they do seem to focus on doing what's expected and things like that. But I thought that was extremely creative. Yeah. So I was pretty excited about it. I thought that was really cool. And the commentator thought it was nice too. Yeah, exactly. If they build it, they will come. Yeah, I know. He made work fun. Exactly. Yeah. It was just super, super cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I was going to tell you too, while I was there, so I had a couple interesting dreams, and I was thinking about, there's so much I would like to share with you guys to talk about. And some of it is the stuff I'm writing in the new book that I've gotten from the Mother of Creation. Some of it is some dreams I've had recently. And I feel like it just would, that's why it's like, there's never enough time in the day, you know? Um, uh, but I feel like one of the things I wanted to share with you, so I had a dream recently. I had two really cool dreams, and I've been at an interesting turning point for myself. So when I was in Japan, I had this dream, and what they specifically said in the dream. Let me open it up because I tracked it. And so in the dream, my guide came through and said, and he told me that because I let myself be seen, I got my ticket early. And that's the whole dream. Because I let myself be seen, I got my ticket early. Which is a great dream, right? That's a great dream. Like getting your ticket early means clearing your karma. So that is like your ticket, like getting your, like how do you pay a ticket? It's like a karmic, karmic stuff. And I love the idea that because I let myself be seen, and I'm aware, like I've had a couple of other dreams. It says, okay, I've moved through the karma that I chose for this life before I got here. And I have since signed up for some more karma. Like, I did. I agreed to some new karma, but not in a bad way. Not karma like I'm going to go through another round of chaos, but like I'm still engaged in being here and there's still things I want to do. But that's part of what I want to talk to you about, because it's I'm in a weird void place with my like life purpose and mission and things like that. And like, what am I here for? Like, what am I doing? And so this dream was a beautiful dream. And I like the idea that because I let myself be seen, and the first thing, of course, where my mind would go would be like, oh, because I was afraid to share these messages, and then I shared them on YouTube and la 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 la. But I've been doing that for a while. So I don't think it was that. Like, I think it was much more that I was willing to not abandon myself. That I think it was the self-abandonment thing. And I think that was the piece that needed to happen in order for me to really, and it makes me really realize, like, one of the biggest, most important things that we have to embrace is feeling safe enough to express ourselves, safe to feel like we merit the space we take up in the world, that we are meant to be seen, that we're meant to be heard, and that we need to share the light that's inside of us. And that, I think, often means, and I think certainly there is like the part about like, yes, there's going to be, I know that there are some of us here in this group who are like struggling with the fear of sharing your gifts, and that's absolutely part of it. Like, and unfortunately they will not let us off the hook, so it's part of it. But there's also the part about in your relationships, in the people, your friendships, in the loved ones, that it is, are we doing our best to say what we feel, and to not abandon, like not assume that our need, that we can handle it, so we don't need to necessarily get our needs met, that that we can take it, and that's, I think that is a common thing for, particularly for old souls, is you guys know that you have just more resilience, more tolerance, more wisdom. And so we tend to sort of pick up the slack in families and in relationships and things, and that can lead to a lot of self-abandonment. And so so for me, one of my core wounds was from infancy, was the fear that if I had needs, people would leave, and that came from birth. And so that was finally getting to the place where I let that go, and where I was willing to say when I had needs, when I was willing to say, hey, this is not okay for me, or this is what I want, and to do it with no fear that it was just the fact that I was going to say it was going to put the relationship or friendship or whatever it was at risk, to being willing to just be loud and proud, with whatever was on my heart. But that, when you have that, and I know for some of you that's going to be like, well, of course you're going to do that. But when that's your conditioning, it's a terrifying thing to do that. And so that for me, and that healing only happened in the past year. So that was literally like, you guys know I'm not good with time, but that was maybe the last 6 months, last year that happened. 6 months, I don't know. So, but anyways, yeah. So, and it was the conclusion of, a long line of healing. It was sort of the final cherry on top that I had to, and it was the thing you pull it out and the whole Jenga tower falls. So that was the big one. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about, was when I let myself be seen. So I'm sure it's all the pieces. It's the pieces about being willing to come out and tell people what I do and who I am and share it. Yes, share the messages, but then also this other piece, which is I think in some ways was harder. To be honest, it was harder to really be open and to not abandon myself. And I think one way I like to think about that is that if you think of yourself as the child that you are looking out for, and are you always treating that child the way that you would treat your actual child, that we have a tendency to put ourselves last. We have a tendency to overlook our own needs and to assume that that's a good thing. I think society teaches us that we should get a merit badge for being self-sacrificing, and that is not the case. And I would love to reverse that cultural bias that somehow that someone is a good person because they self-sacrifice, like the whole Mother Teresa thing, that somehow we should all aspire to be self-sacrificing. And that is not, like, that is extremely counterproductive to your soul's mission. And I think it's a really tough thing because, like as a kid, I was always complimented for being the diplomat, for being the one that could get along with everyone and could help people get along and da-da-da. But what that is, self-abandonment, that's what that is. It is, I will just keep my needs to myself and I will just be happy and I will get along with everyone. Yeah. And so I think we get told that that's what being nice is. But I'm here to tell you, you can still be nice and also have needs. And that is a learning that I did in the last year. I can have needs and still be nice. In fact, I'm nicer because of the fact that I'm honest. That what I learned is that when I am not expressing my needs, I am in fact not telling the truth. I am creating a false reality that doesn't reflect where I actually am. I'm not authentically participating in that dynamic, whatever it is. And that the only way to really invest properly to build a relationship of any kind, friendship, romantic relationship, family relationship, working relationship of any kind, is to authentically show up, right? Is to say what you need to say, what you think in the kindest way possible, and to not abandon yourself. And to recognize that doing that is actually investing in the relationship, that it is being truthful. And that not doing that is being the opposite of truthful, right? So this was big learning for me. And it really helped to turn it around because I think we are so rewarded for doing it. We're so rewarded for self-abandoning. And we're told that that's, you're so sweet, you're so nice, you're so kind, whatever, because you never have needs, because you get along with everyone, because... that's just such a kind person. No. That person is needing help, realizing that's not actually that's not what we're here for. Like our mission, our reason for being here is to express our light. Like that's the key. We have to recognize we are here for ourselves first and foremost. So that gets me to my second dream I had. This past just the other day. So the dream about end of karma, phenomenal, like super exciting. But then it put me into this weird little void space of like, well, what's motivating me? Like, what do I want? Like, what is speaking to my heart now? Like so much of the things that like really lit me up, that inspired me before, like I really wanted to be able to work in the world in spirit. Like that doing what I'm doing right now, like that's what I really wanted. And I really wanted to do it with other people. I wanted to have a team where we were building something collaboratively, that I had that camaraderie and the fun, the joy of creating something with others. And that has come about in the last year and a half. And has been the absolute fulfillment of that dream. And again, there's always more to grow and there's more to do there. But I went from the place of not having it to having it, so there's definitely, and yes, you can always grow more, but I went from it being like a pipe dream where it just seemed like how will I ever achieve that, to being something that I can now say, yeah, it's here. Isn't that cool? And so in that space, I'm like, well, what's next? Like what lights up my heart? Like what do I really, And I was kind of like trying to feel out into the world, like what is it that I'm like, why am I here? Like, what am I here for now? If and that was the sort of the end of the karma, like what's next? And I thought, well, okay, on a spiritual journey, like the things that people tend to go towards is enlightenment. Like that's the thing that people seem to be striving for is enlightenment. So what the heck is enlightenment? Like, what is that, and should I want it? Is that something I want? I think I might want that. What is it? So I didn't really know what it was, and but I think it is. I have since channeled with Mother Creation and the angels. It's like full, like enlightenment is like that full self-acceptance, self-love. It's the embodiment of your, like the full embodiment of your higher self in your incarnated state, right? So it's like full self-love. And hopefully that makes sense. So, but that just saying that is like, what is that like? It's kind of a vague thing. Sounds good, but I couldn't get enough of like a grip on it to be like, I want that. I didn't have an example that I could point to, other than like seeing people sitting, like pictures of Buddha meditating and looking happy, like, what is it? I don't know. He looks blissful. I don't know. But I mean, I wouldn't feel like it was a goal if the end result meant that I would sit in a pillow and just go happy all the time. Like I want to be in my world. I want to be in my life, and not just necessarily lock myself in a cave in the Himalayas and be happy. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I had this second dream, and it just happened just the other day, because I was kind of, like I said, I was in this weird state of like, what is my goal? And so I had a dream. It was just 2 or 3 nights ago, and it was just right after I got home. So it would have been like 2 nights ago. A beautiful dream, absolutely beautiful. Where in the dream I'm in the now reality, and then in my current state of consciousness, where I am today, and then all of a sudden I merge into whatever this enlightenment is. I move into enlightenment, and I feel it. And I'm in this state, and it's like, it's so open, and it's so breezy, and it's so easy, and it's so like amazing, And then they bring me back to my current state of consciousness, which is not so good. I mean, it's good, but it's not that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, this is pretty good, but that is like amazing. So I'm here again, and then they float me back up, and I get to feel like, wow, amazing. It's just the feeling of like everything, everything was so easy. It's the best way I can describe it. So they take me back and forth like 3 times. So they bring me back where I am today, and then they bring me to this sort of future state, and then back today, and then into enlightenment. And then, and I think did I write the dream down? Because then, and then on the 3rd time, in my mind, I say to myself, wow, it would be so, in the dream I say, wow, it would be so amazing if I could embody this energy, if I could feel this while embodied. Like if I could be in a physical state. So it's one thing to feel that when you're in spirit, to be in spirit because you're already in la 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 land. But what if you could bring that amazing, open, luminous state into the physical body? And in my dream, I'm thinking that. And then my guides say, that is why you're here. I'm like, what? Okay, so that's my goal. And then, super cool. So then the next moment, I am in the dream. I'm in my bed, but it's like, I think I'm awake, but I'm not awake. I'm still in the dream. And all of a sudden my bed, I'm like, it feels like the most incredible bed you've ever been in. And it's like, oh my God, my bed is incredible. I'm laying in my bed. I'm like, it's so comfortable. It's so soft. It's like the most floaty, pillowy, softest bed. And I'm just marveling at how comfortable my bed is. And then I wake up and realize that I was asleep, that feeling my bed being so incredible. And what they were trying to show me is what it would feel like if I brought that state of consciousness into a physical body. It would be like I would still be in my bed, but my bed would feel incredible. And I thought, wow. Like, I don't know if it's gonna, if that's my goal, right, is to be able to do it. Maybe it takes me 30 years. I don't know, but that is a worthy goal, you guys. That is a worthy goal. That, yeah, to be able to do that would be amazing. Because, yeah, and the coolest part about it would be like amazing. Imagine being in your regular life, like in your, just with the people that you love and doing the things that you do, but doing it where, like, in your regular bed, but all of a sudden your bed is like the best. And it's not that the bed changed, it's that you changed, right? And all of a sudden your aches and pains are gone and your whatevers are gone and your bed just feels like it is just the best bed on the planet. Yeah, and that everything would be like that. It's just an amazing thought, amazing thought. So, like heaven on earth, truly. So then it brings me to the idea, well, what is the difference between enlightenment, this concept of, and by the way, so the next question I have is how? I have no idea. Like, they have not given me a single answer. Like, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to get from where I am today into that higher, beautiful state that they've shown me? No clue. I don't know. I know I'm not meant to, like, go lock myself in the Himalayas. I know that I'm meant to do it through working with other people. So, but I don't, that's all I know. I don't really know how. I don't know. We'll just see. I'll keep you posted on that one. And I'm also aware that it's a lot about being, but my human self is like doing. Like, what do I do? How do I do that? How do I do it faster? Because I want to get there, And but yeah, I have no idea yet. So I will keep you posted on that. But I do know it's a different state of consciousness than the shift in consciousness that we're about to go through. That the shift in consciousness, and the more I learn about it, the more I understand it. I'm starting to sort of parse apart these two things. There's this state of enlightenment, which is like it's more this full integration of your higher self into your physical body, which is what I would describe enlightenment as. And it is like pure self-love, which means you've integrated all parts of yourself, right? So that would be that state. What we're working towards right now as a whole, what humanity is working towards, is this idea of, how the angels told us that we have this other aspect inside of us that we were born with, and that other aspect is coming to the surface. So my understanding, what I believe is actually happening, is that aspect is like it's the integration of our divine feminine. That is coming forward, and that is going to bring us forward into a new stage of development for humanity. So, and it will bring all the amazing things that we've been talking about. So it will truly be a phenomenal integration and back into unity consciousness, and it will bring us telepathy, and it will bring us all these incredible things, and so much more ease. We'll be moving away from the struggle bus, as Wendy likes to call it, and into this period of much more ease, because the goal is changing, where we'll start to learn how to create. Like, learning to manifest is going to be more like manifest fully, to how to really work with our physical body as an instrument, how to manifest in our world, how to live in a more dharmic way as opposed to a karmic way. We'll be leaving behind our karma and moving into learning how to kind of ride the crest of infinite potential, and to work collaboratively with our communities and with the earth. So it's a very exciting thing. So we can have that goal, and we can also have the goal of enlightenment. So enlightenment is like a personal goal, right? That is like a thing for you as a soul, and for me as a soul. But this other thing, then this shift of consciousness, is for humanity at large. And that's the thing that we're all taking part in. So yeah, two separate things. And the shift is really more about, we have been in the process of this deep steeping in the masculine, and now we're turning, and like this giant inhale, and now we're turning to the exhale and beginning to remember the divine feminine and to integrate the two. And so that is the process of our shift. And so when the flash of light comes, that is going to give us a huge mega boost in terms of our vibration, helping us to separate from the karma, helping us to move into this beautiful new state of being. But but hey, why not go for the gold ring, you guys? Why not go for the brass ring or whatever it is? And like, yeah, the enlightenment thing. I mean, I don't know, maybe it take me the rest of my life, but it's a journey certainly worth like the from what they've shown me. Like, and here's the other thing I know from my healing journey. I know that every little bit counts. So it's not an all or nothing. I'm sure it's like that. I'm sure it's not all or nothing. Like every little bit will be better and better and better. So even if it takes me 30 years or 40 years or 50 years or whatever it takes, then I know that as I go, I will get little bits of that. But I don't know. I don't at this point, I am at the very beginning and I don't know how to do it. So if I find out, I will tell you. If I find out, I'll spill the goods for sure. So let's see what you guys are saying. He says, great conversation, you guys. And then, where is it? Oh, hold on. Where am I? You guys are having some amazing conversations on here. Let's see. I couldn't help but jump up and down on that heavenly bed. It's funny, Jay. This is the balance that divine feminine brings, and instead of or addition to the transcendence, we achieve immanence. Oh, interesting, beautiful, Jessica. And then pubescent experience of born again. Oh, sorry, I think that was probably. Let's see. I want heaven. I know. I want a heaven on earth bed. Yes, you said that would be amazing. It was, you guys. It was like incredible for truly. Like it was, and what an experience. I think they know me. That I just have a very practical side to my nature, and I think just having a theoretical goal could not ignite my heart. It could not. I just couldn't latch onto it. This concept until they gave me the felt experience, and I love that the felt experience of enlightenment was a super comfortable bed. Like, oh, it felt amazing. Yeah, that's what enlightenment can be in a physical body. Can be the most comfortable bed, but you can extrapolate that out and say it's the most comfortable everything. And just imagine going through and that every meal is the best meal, and every conversation is the best conversation, and like just being that present and that like friction free in everything you do in your life. And you might wonder, like, would that get old? Like, would be heaven on earth, would that get old? I don't think so. Because within that, when you are friction free, then I imagine within that space you are creating, you are experiencing, and then you get to understand better ways of expressing yourself. So, yeah, I think it would be amazing, absolutely amazing. That is inspiring. I use this idea of pulling 5D into my present. Love it, Jude. Alyssa says, is enlightenment expansion of gratitude of all the details celebrating, is enlightenment expansion of gratitude of all the details celebrating the focus of being present? I think and so this is, I think it's what's so good when we talk about this, because it is like, what the heck is it, right? So so gratitude is like my favorite tool to help raise my vibration. Like when I need to bring my vibration up, like in order to channel or whatever, I will use gratitude. And being in the present moment is super important, because that is really like, that's, as we know, that's like where truth is. The present moment is where we are at our highest vibration. It is that we're leaving behind all of our baggage from the past, right? We're working from who we are today. So absolutely, that is a way towards being in our highest vibration. But I think my understanding specifically of like what is enlightenment, I think it is getting to that space of pure self-acceptance and self-love. So where there's no friction, there's no resistance between you and your higher self. And so your higher self can literally be embodied in you, so that you have this complete open conduit all the time between you and your higher self. So it's like imagine if you were the higher self, it would be like you got to be living in the matrix and actually like being alive in the matrix, as opposed to watching it from the outside, which I think is what it's like today. So we, as sort of the expression of our higher self, we are here. We are like the big toe of our higher self, right? And we are independent, and we are kind of making all our decisions, and a lot of the time we're in the dark, and we're kind of bumbling around and doing the best we can. But luckily, we've got these guardrails on the side, and we've got angels, and we've got guides, and we're doing our best, you know. I think once we reach that idea of enlightenment is that it creates this open connection between you and your higher self, where you integrate with that highest, with all of you, and bring all of that into the physical body. So I think it's like, if you think about it from the higher self's perspective, like I would imagine that your higher self is watching you right now, living your life like a avatar, you know, out in this world doing your thing, and then the higher self gets to kind of participate, but isn't really controlling you. You are independent. But once you achieve that state of consciousness where you fully open to the higher self, all of a sudden the higher self is no longer watching from the outside. The higher self gets to be an active participant, gets to come in, and gets to be on earth. Yeah. Like, how cool is that? Yeah. So I think that's, so I don't know. This is but I know that from our perspective as the avatar, as the big toe, it is this concept of no resistance to yourself, having complete self-love, and that opens the doorway to your higher self. That's my understanding so far, anyways. But like I said, no idea, like in terms of what I'm supposed to do, the do part. I wish I had a do. Like, I wish they would give me, like, here, do these 5, like, you know, we all want a syllabus. I wish they would give me a syllabus, read these 5 books, do these 5 tasks, and you will get it. Like, oh, I didn't get that. You said, check out the content of Buddhist idea of a Bodha. When I'm sick, I'm like, I cannot even. And I'm slightly dyslexic anyway, so I'm like, oh, I don't know what that says. Bodhisattva. So I will look that up. Thank you. Sounds like you guys gave you the goal. Yes, Julie, that's what it feels like. It feels like the goal was like, I think and it probably came from my higher self too. But I just didn't, I knew it was kind of, I was heading in that direction. I just didn't have enough meat on the bone. You know, I didn't really know what it was. But now I have something I can hang on to. Now I know a feeling, and that's what I needed, you know? Yeah, it is not doing, it is being. Exactly, Jude, exactly. And then Christy says, I met at the client yesterday that said she felt something similar to what you're describing for one full day. I think the universe is giving us a taste of what we're moving into. Isn't that amazing, Christy? Could you imagine feeling that for a full day? Oh, but then, you know, the tragedy when it ended. Oh, that'd be tough. Like, that'd be, I mean, I don't mean to go there, like celebrate the day, but still, like, you'd be like, oh, how do I create that again? Oh my gosh. And Kelsey says, enlightenment is cultivated off the cushion in relationship with wisdom and compassion. Buddha said, good friends are the most important key on the path. Isn't that beautiful? Susan said, I once was walking along and felt an overwhelming feeling connecting to a stranger across a parking lot. Very strange. And he connected to me. It was different, but I think a connection that we will feel in the new earth with everyone who are enlightened. Yes. I will say that I've had some very specific experiences of telepathy recently, which has been kind of blowing my mind. Where not a ton, like a handful. I've had like a handful of experiences where I clearly heard the person's thought. And then here's a funny thing. Is that my telepathic response was completely unfiltered. I felt my response go back, and I was not able to filter it. So this is learning on my part. It was like, oh my gosh. Because someone was like I heard the telepathic question come in, and my response was, no, I don't want to. And literally, I just felt it go out. And in my mind, I would say that, oh, no, thank you, or da-da-da. My telepathic, it was gone before I did not control it. I wasn't able to put a filter. So this is learning right here, you guys, is Authenticity 101 with telepathy. I had none of my normal, and that only happened once, but there was only one circumstance where I was in that position where I was sort of a response was required. And, no filter. So yeah, I guess maybe that's telepathy. The new telepathy is like all honesty all the time. Very blunt. No, I don't want to. That was my response. Okay. All right. So, Let's see. So wanting this soon. Yes, I know, right? And then Matthew says to be leading our pre-shifting transformation. I think we are all doing it. Like, I think it's like, many different hands on the elephant. And that's why I'm happy to share mine too, is that I think we're all moving forward or pushing along in inches, kind of pressing out the bubble of what it is to be human right now. And having different experiences. I just excited to share these two dreams because they were so like some of the best dreams I have had in my life, in my life. So yeah, exciting to share. Um, uh, See, and then the oneness. Yes, Livy says I had flashes of that state, and the trick of the how for me is to realize you don't have to do anything. Just remove the judgments upon yourself that are not you. Stop the need for chasing and just fully enjoy the present. Yes, yes, yes. And then Kathy said, yeah, and I think that it is the just being part of it is absolutely true. But I know for me that there is a component of it where, I'm sure it's different for everybody, but there's some component of it for me where I'm meant to do it with others. So I'll have to figure that out. I don't understand it yet. So, but being absolutely, like the mother of creation is saying, your pathway is presence, not persuasion, which is great. That's great. I love that. And I think that, and so here's the thing about it, you guys, that I think is so exciting is that if we do this, imagine if we, and whichever path, like both things we're talking about, both the shift in consciousness, which is this lovely integration of our divine feminine and the balance that we're going to achieve, moving into the dharmic state. So this is one aspect of our shift of consciousness. But then also this other thing we can do, which is this integration of our higher self, that either one of those is bringing in way more light, right? And then like I think about like the enlightened state, like one of the cool things about that is I think that talk about anchoring in light to the planet, that I think truly that just by being you could help transform the world. I think that literally just radiating that energy, bringing that energy to the planet, would be, yeah, could have a major impact on the world. So very, very interesting. And I don't know, but I think about people like, I think is it the hugging saint, Alma, and how she just hugs people. And those hugs are like super powerful and activating for people. And I was looking at her recently thinking, oh, it'd be really fun to go see her, to go get a hug from Alma. And but she's not coming to the US anytime soon. I've been keeping an eye on it. But I think it's that idea that just your energy, just being in presence is enough. Yeah. And I think we already have that. We all embody that right now, like to the degree that we are able. We all embody that right now. Like when you are with your friends or when you're with your family and you can be the one that's bringing in the light. The key for us, I think, is to not let ourselves be pulled out of our own vibration, to not try like the human tendency, I think, is to try to fit in, try to connect with others by bringing our vibration down to where they are. And I think the key for us is to try to fill ourselves up full of our own vibration, to try to hold our own light, and then to just be compassionately with others, but not to connect through their wounding, to connect through love, as opposed through wounding. And you know what I'm talking about? Like when people get together and they like, oh, this bad thing happened to you. Well, let me share. Oh, I had a worse thing happen to me. And oh, me too. I had a worse thing happen to me. And then now let's talk about that person we all don't like. Like that's the conversation that goes around. And this is where we're all kind of like piling on. And it's we're trying to find some cohesion around a vibration that everybody can match, And what if instead you came into that situation or that conversation and we just hold our own light, and we don't try to feel that sense of resonance or connection. Instead, we just feel love and compassion. And let's experiment with that over the holidays, of going into our family environments. I mean, this is like saying like a level 10 dive, you guys. But how cool would that be to be able to go into our families and to just try as best as we can to stay in our own vibration and to just radiate love and compassion to our families, and to just let them do their thing and let them be themselves and just love them, and not think about trying to connect by being the same as them. Instead to just stay in our own vibe and to love them. Yeah. And just try it out. See how it goes. And report back. Kathy says, I love what you experienced. I have been wanting that, what you are saying, and believed it was true in this life. But I've heard some recently that we can't experience so fully in our bodies. With your dream, I again believe we can get there in our bodies. Thank you for sharing. I so get the realness of your dreams. Thank you so much, Kathy. Yeah, I'm so glad it's inspiring because, yeah, I'm super inspired too. Thank you. Robin says, hey, Robin, I'm so happy to hear these dreams and interpretations of them. I feel the same way. I have been experiencing a sort of telepathy with my kids. Wow, that's so cool. Abel says, recently I was feeling stuck and lost. I had a dream where I was walking on a field and came across a row of thorny bush and had no idea how to cross it. My mom appeared and opened a way and guided me through. Wow. When I reached the other side, she hugged me and wake up feeling great. Wow, Abel, that is so beautiful. Oh, what a beautiful visitation from your mom. That's incredible. Kelsey said, the Buddhist two-truth philosophy, it is said that samsara and nirvana are the same one, created, experienced differently, enlightenment and interrelatedness. Interesting. Huh. Go big or go home, says Joshua. Yes, exactly. Those are great dreams. Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, super exciting. Livy saying it's incredible. I wish I could keep that state. Wow, wow, wow. Everybody has such beautiful experiences and thoughts. Yeah, I know, right? It's an amazing community. So, and then Amanda says, is it possible that we do that enlightenment together? Is it possible we do that enlightenment together at this time through the synergy of divine aspects coming back together? I had a profound experience with a horse this past summer. A ball of extreme heat and energy appeared between us. And then the information I received was that it was a manifestation of creation through the process of divinity between beings connecting. Wow, that sounds like an amazing experience. I'm not sure, and it's through my cold, muddled head. I'm not sure if I'm understanding it sounds like the ball of energy sounds incredible. And I know that horses, their heart is supposed to be just incredibly strong. Their field of energy is supposed to be very, very strong. A manifestation of creation through the process of divinity being between beings connecting. So certainly, like, I do know that, like, the angels have said that together we create the light, right? And that we create love through these connections with others. So could be that you are creating love in that moment. That's a beautiful experience, Amanda. Wow. Maureen says, we will be watching and taking notes. Thank you, Maureen. Erin says, such amazing synchronicity. So glad I tuned in today. Yay. Angie says, free movie on YouTube that hints at this future. Tomorrow, ever after. Ooh, very cool, Angie. Thank you. Thanks so much for showing up today and sharing yourself. Thank you. I'm a little worse for wear. A little rugged over here. It says, I think you are doing it, all of us already. Yay. Thank you for reminding us. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, very true. Comfy beds never get old. You're saying, but here we are. It says, sign me up if only for the bed. Exactly. And you're saying the ideal is such a contact to the daily suffering of being highly sensitive in our current insanity. Yeah, that is, yeah, this sensitivity is definitely a thing, isn't it? And Marnie is sold. All right. Awesome dream. Here we go. Hey, Shanta, good to see you. Bliss never gets boring. Yeah, I think that's right, Jay. I think that's the point of bliss, right? Is that it's blissful. It doesn't get boring. Yeah. You can't have self-expression without being vulnerable. That's the truth. Yeah. And that's the tricky part, isn't it? Oh my gosh, you guys. All right. Well, I think I am fading. So, but I am going to try to do our clearing for our soul society. So if you guys are up for it, I'm just going to give it a try and see, I'll know as soon as I go in to make the connection and to create sacred space. I'll know. I'm really drifty, but I'll be able to see if I'll be able to hold the energy or not. So, but if you are up for the try, then meet me over there, my soul society members, and we will try our clearing. I could definitely use it. I think we all could. So let's do it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. It was really fun to share the trip with you guys and just, what's been on these amazing, amazing dreams. I feel so grateful. So have a great weekend, you guys. Tons of love to you, and I will see you soon. Bye, you guys.